This is Justin Amazon on Friday, February 8th, 2019. All the action happened overnight. The price we came back up to on the option, for yesterday was 5, and then overnight we just continued on down. Uh, I was looking at it around here, seeing, oh man, it's almost going to come down and maybe open at 1578.25. Instead, we move back up. We kind of retest back up into our 1591 price, and then start to roll over all pre-market. So as it opened, it's like, man, it doesn't have that much further to go to get down here. I kind of missed the move already. So obviously the 1600 puts are already in the money, so you don't get anything extra for waiting to the morning. Like you would have just been able to exit at the open with a market order, even because you're that far in the money that these just skyrocket. I mean, it goes from $5 to around like 20 or something right here. And yeah, so stepping into the day, so I was kind of disappointed to see it already moved so far, but actually happy that I was, kind of anticipating that kind of a move, just didn't anticipate it happening overnight, wanted it to happen during the day. So moving into the day, nice kind of hammer candle. This is trapping some people who are looking to buy off of that low right there, pre-market. They're buying. And then what happens next? Inside candle. Okay, some more buyers coming in, and then it takes them out. Stops them out. This is any of the bulls that got in here looking for this to just fade out the gate. It doesn't. It actually does break down. Comes right into the 1578.31, 6 cents away from the price we got, and then the next candle pushes past. This is a great hammer, really, really great hammer at a support or pivot point. And this is a candle to watch or to bracket trade bullish for that fade. You had the opening volume that was pretty high, kind of trails off a little bit. But this, I mean, if it moved back up into 1591.04, that could be a 1-to-1, maybe a 1-to-1.5. There's some opportunity there. Again, an inside candle, not even touching the line, sort of completes a Morningstar reversal, starts to trigger for some folks in above this line or above that high, and then it does actually move up. Doesn't quite get up here again. It's like, okay, we've retested a little bit above the open. That's trapping any bears that set their stop right here. They just got stopped out, and now it looks like it's going to roll back down. So the low here is 1576. Oh no, wrong candle. Sorry, 1578.51. Then the next candle moves right back down to the line. It's like, what is going on here? Really small indecision candle. Morningstar reversal again. It's like, wait a minute. Now we're kind of doing like a double bottom. What's going on here? That would make this or this area the neckline. Are we really going to double bottom and take off? Is this really going to happen? It moves up, comes right up close to the neckline, and then starts to pull back again. And it's just really puzzling. We come right back up into the open or into the pre-market right before the open, those prices again. And it's like, okay, this is kind of channeling, but it's not hitting my line up here. So this looks a little more bearish to me than bullish. Even though it's bouncing really nicely off this line, it's like, this is just this is a quick retest and a secondary retest. Maybe we'll get a third one, and then we'll roll over. That's kind of what I'm anticipating here. Goes down, stair step right here, stair step right on the support. Looks like it wants to hold, but it's not going back up as quickly or with as large of candles or volume. And this is a great place even here to say, okay, if it breaks down below this, go and bearish, let's stop right here. You got the squeeze forming, it could last longer. There you go. Breaks down, retest, breaks down again, more stair step, and then it does actually roll down pretty quickly, gets the 1575 puts in the money. So even trading from here to this move would have been great. Makes a new low on the day, which also means, any bulls are stopped out right here. If they had their stops right here, and we're looking for this to rally and it doesn't, now they're stopped out too. The squeeze fired. And then we get a really nice small candle and then another hammer candle. And obviously with the flag on here for the low, we did get down to 1566.76. With this happening, I thought there was an incredible opportunity for this to just continue on bearish. Our next line is 15.40 and 45 cents. I checked on the daily because, it's been a little while since I remember what that line was when we've been down there. So I'll show you something else about the low down here when we look at the daily. But obviously from here, because the flag, we do rally from here. We can look at the calls here because, again, just like this was a nice hammer and you could have bought off that. And this was a nice indecision candle that you could have bought off of. And then this was a really nice stair step that you could have been triggered bullish into if it had moved up. It didn't, this is a nice hammer to buy off of. It immediately runs back up, comes right back up into the line, and actually looks like it's going to roll over again from here. So I'm sure there were bears getting in here, especially with, let's see, is this it? Golfing? Not quite engulfing candle, but bearish, moved down a little bit. We're into the squeeze, we're losing some bearish momentum, and that's kind of it. Stair step, and then move back up to the line. Another, quick retest, secondary retest, small candle here. This should roll over. We get another squeeze, and what happens? No, instead of rolling over, it starts to move up. So now we're retesting from above. Really small candles here. We've shown that we're going a little more bullish than bearish, and so you could have been bracket trading this, getting in below or getting in above, and then the stop in the opposite location. This breaks out in this candle, and where's it go? I'm just gonna fast forward through this today. It just moves right back up to the opening price, or the morning high. Like all of this from the open high here, retest, 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 retest. It just kept coming up to that open high. It's a phenomenal retest candle. That's all it's doing. As it formed this candle, and it really doesn't do it justice showing it on, showing it with how far we moved yesterday. So if I just zoom in on the day, we actually had some decent moves down, and then a decent bounce up, a retest almost back into that hammers range. There were definitely opportunities even in here to be getting in bullish, after it made this candle. So let me show you the daily first. So the daily, we actually get into the downtrend channel. We haven't touched it in a week and a half, whatever. We were touching it a couple times here. Bearish candles, bearish candles. This is the first bullish candle touch we've had from above in a little bit. It really looks like this was, kind of a quick retest, second quick retest. Now we got a little bit longer retest. Even though this all looks so bearish here, I really like having a rollover to the retest price of this bearish gap and go. I like having a bearish gap, another bearish gap that retested. This could definitely continue on lower, get into lower 1500s, get into this range in a few days. But we're actually, we got into the price I was looking for where these crisscrossed here. I just thought it was going to happen yesterday, and it wasn't, that it wouldn't take 2 days. But I would have been trading the same options, if it all happened in one day, doing different, different days. I kind of missed out on that gap move with the puts like I was showing. So come back in here. Actually, let's look at the puts. So, I had shown from Wednesday, the high in here was around 5. And then yesterday, we could have been buying at 5, even at the close, buying at 5, buy 4. And then here's the gap up, retest right into the high from yesterday, right in here around 1650. 17 is the high here. It gets right back into that price and then rallies up from there. As the stock is moving just straight down, stock bounces, the option retests, and now it comes back past this price. The low of this candle kind of coincides with up here, but I mean, that would have been hard to buy off of. And then this candle here bounces off of this range, and again, not this candle. So there were a couple opportunities to buy, out the gate, a retest, to a similar open high price on the stock, and then that secondary retest of the high price of the stock. And then as the day wore on, towards the end of the day, you had some candles that came back up to the same range on the 5-minute, but the option has already, lost some of its premium coming down here. All the while, obviously in the money, and where we were at yesterday, we were still out of the money. So really nice move there. Let's look at the calls. Oh, and because it was moving from like, let's see, 5 here, you could have up to 20. You could have had a 15-hour trade overnight. That would have been phenomenal. With the gaps in here, or with the moves in here, it would have been a little bit harder to buy the 1600 put because it's so far in the money. I did want to switch over to the 1575 put here. Let's see. Here we are. So you opened at 4, ran up, pulled back. 4x3 might have worked. 4x3 here would have been stopped out. But, we had this retest, and then it went sideways for a little bit, getting in on one of these sideways moves before it moved up here, getting in at 5x4 up here. Possibly could have exited at like 8 or 9, so that would have been 3 or 4R on a move that had already done, one time here. And then even this one it retested, pretty close to 4, or doing 5x4, and that would have worked up to 7 again. So, a few opportunities to play the same trade over and over. Just, you got to know where your risk is in order to get into that. You had some really small candles in here that then collapsed, rolled over. We were losing premium pretty quickly as we were kind of getting out of the money again. And that's just what happens on the Friday expiration. So in some cases, it would have been better to have been short the options or doing spreads. But going directionally, you got to look for those levels. And that's what I was looking for today. So back onto the calls. This was that hammer candle with the 1575 call. You could have been getting this set up probably after this candle and done like 5x4. And that should have filled or waited for the retest 5x4. Even though the low hit 385, we didn't quite even get close enough for it to, be near that. But, if you were a little nervous about this low, you could have tried to set up 450 by 350 or, 475 by 375. Those may have worked. And then from here just held as this rallied back up, and could have been going for, if you did 4x3, could have held to 8 or 9 again, not again, but on this side of the trade. So a lot of opportunities to be getting in with these smaller moves, these smaller candles. And here's these small candles here that broke bullish. This was 1235, so we come back into 1235. So now nobody bought at 1235, but this would have been a 7x6 setup right in here, and then that just rallied up to 13. Maybe get out for 11 or 12. So that would have been a really nice trade. If we're going from 7 up to 12, that's 5R again. So a lot of opportunities for these small moves. Just because it's a Friday, but the real moves, the big moves were happening overnight. So we missed some of those this week. We'll see if we get some more of those during the day in the next week. But yeah, this is where we're at. We could bounce here. We could roll over. It'd be great to have another bearish gap because that'd be a bearish gap and go. If we get a bullish gap, that's going to turn this into a reversal and be a very clean, nice gap or a nice bounce off of the downtrend channel. So we did have a little bit deeper wicks here and here, a little bit deeper move here. I would not be surprised if it came down to the 1540.45 price in the next couple days, and then started to bounce from there. I mean, if it can really hold that level. The other thing about this price in here now is it's still in the downtrend upper end of the channel. But the last time we were in that range, we were kind of pushing through midway point. A little bit lower, but we had the 21 in here, it was holding some resistance. Then we got above that. So there was other things going on in this price range here that we're getting pretty close to that could lend itself for some support. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin Amazon.